Next, for the recovery of my EC2, here I'm going to create an add EC2 action. So I'll click on this add EC2 action and alarm status trigger, which says in alarm. Okay. Next, we'll take the following action, which says as recover this instance. Now, once this is done, I'll click on the next button. I can mention my alarm that I'll call it as EC2 recovery. Okay. So once this is done, I'll click on the next button. And after providing this, see, we can preview each and every settings that we have made. I'll just come down and I'll create an alarm right now. So this is going to create the alarm. The next thing that I'm going to do right now is we will have to SSH into the EC2 instance. So let's look at the status of RDS. Okay, the status is still modifying, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and let's perform the SSH into the EC2 instance. So I've already downloaded last time the key. I'll just paste it in my folder working directory so that we can use it. So this is the key that I've saved. Okay, let's go to this folder now. Now here to connect to this EC2, I'll get the help directly from here. That is easy. I'll use the SSH client. So open SSH. So first we'll have to run this command. So once this is done, I'll have to give this command ssh-i test. So this will connect to the public IP address. Okay, I'll say it as yes. This is going to connect it to my EC2 instance. Okay, now here we can go ahead and do the necessary configuration, guys. So once we do the SSH, I'll configure my EC2. I'll say AWS configure. And here I can mention the default region. I'll mention, I'll use the default access key as default. Like I'll just press the enter key. I'll access key as the same. And for the region name, I'll mention it as US East-1. Next, for the output format, I can just mention as it is, or I can keep the any default format. Okay. So I've said only thing that I had to ensure was the region. So we have set the default region. The next thing that we have to do is, so here we'll specify the command to change the alarm state and simulate the failure. So this is what we are going to do. So the next, I'll go ahead and I'll do this activity. And here I'll create this as well, and I'll share it with you once this session is completed. Okay, so this is the command that I'll be running right now. So this is going to change the alarm state and it is going to simulate the failure for me. Okay, it says unknown. Okay, let me check that. Let me go ahead and so here, the way that we specify the command over here is we'll say that AWS CloudWatch set alarm state, and we'll have to specify the alarm name. So let's get the alarm name. The alarm name is EC2 recovery. This is the alarm name that we have set. I think that is what I have to change it over here. Okay. Next, set value alarm state. Okay, simulate hardware failure. I think this should work now. Let's validate it. Perfect. So this has been completed. Now what I'll do right now is I'll just go ahead, and if I refresh this, see, it clearly says now it is in alarm. Okay, so it is in alarm. Now I'll just click on this EC2 recovery. I'll open this. Now once I open this, And if I come further down and if I click on the history, here it says alarm updated, and then it successfully executed the action and successfully executed the action, that is failure alarm. So that is what it says right here. Now, if you have configured the email, it will also trigger an SNS notification to your email. You can also check the spam in case if you have not received in the inbox. So, and in this way, you can create the alarm, guys. So in this way, you can actually go ahead and create the alarm. This is how you can like create the alarm, and you can like you can ensure that it is working as per the expectation. It will also ensure that you have configured the automation. Next, let's do one thing. Let's look at the status of our database. Okay, currently it is backing up. Next, we'll do one thing. We'll go ahead and create the SNS subscription for the RDS failover. Okay, so here, in order to do that, so I'll go ahead and I'll create an event subscription. So here, in order to create the same, we've got an option that says as event subscription, and I'll click on create event subscription. And for the name, I'll mention the name as RDS failover. Okay, and I'll choose a new email topic. I'll write as RDS fail notify, and I'll mention my simple email, just any random email. You can mention your email actually. That would actually trigger an email for you. Next, you can select the source. Okay, I'll select the source as instances. And here, like instances to include, I'm going to include select specific instances. I'll select my specific instance of my database one. For event categories, I'll choose all the event categories. Okay, once it's done, I'll click on this create button. Okay, so this is going to create an event for me. Currently, the database is still getting created. Let's wait. I think it should be completed very soon. Now, once you have configured the email, sometimes you'll get an email from AWS to confirm the subscription to the topic. Just click on this confirmation, you'll get that email confirmation. Now, once that is done, you can go ahead and perform that activity. So let's go ahead and look into the databases. Okay, currently we've got the database, and the database is currently in the status of modifying. Okay, in order to do this activity, okay, so here you can select this database, and under the action you have to select as reboot. Okay, and let's wait for it to complete, and then I'll show it to you guys. So once this is done, you can go ahead and restart it. And in that system, guys, I think it will take some more time to like do this activity and send us the notification. You have the option to select you have the option to select as reboot with failover. If you select that option, you in within the few minutes of failure, you'll actually get an email, and that email will be about the database failover. So something has happened to the database, and you are receiving this notification. What we have done in this hands-on activity is we have built a resilient AWS architecture to withstand the hardware failovers. And we have also seen how we can get the notification using SNS from scratch. So one, we have seen an hands-on implementation of EC2 failover. So how the EC2 failover how do we receive the alerts from the EC2 failovers? And the another one scenario that we have seen is how we can receive the notification when there was a failure in database. With the interest of time, so let's not wait and let's look into the other hands-on activity, guys. Okay, now it's available. This is amazing. Let's go ahead and I'll show it to you. So here in this scenario, okay, now I'll click on this reboot. And if you select this option, reboot with failover, so this is going to this is going to create an email for you. Okay, that's how you can test this failure. That is the like you can test whether you have built a system which is resilient to withstand the hardware failovers. So that's how you can test this activity, guys. Now there's one more hands-on which we had actually. This is about how we can configure a CloudWatch alarm for Lambda invocation errors with SNS notification. Okay, so since we still have 20 minutes time, let's take a look at this hands-on activity as well. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and close my EC2 systems and we'll just get started. So the hands-on activity that we'll be doing right now, so there are two, guys. Okay, so before I go ahead and do this, okay, let's bring back the examination guide that we have. So first let's review our examination guide and then we'll come back and I'll show it to you on in a hands-on manner. It's a very simple one. So here the like what we have done right now in today's session is we have seen all together, that is the domains 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have seen how we can monitor something, how we can log it, and we have set these policies and standards automation. So how to automate if something fail happens, like how we can automate it. We have seen how to create the events, how to receive the notification, and we have also seen in a hands-on manner as how we can build the services in AWS which has high availability, fault tolerance, as well as disaster recovery capabilities. So we have covered our hands-on activity covering all the major domains that is expected from this AWS DevOps certification examination. For each and every service that you would use, just think from the perspective of the automation. And from the perspective of automation, think as how you can improve the resources. Let me tell you guys, it's this examination is very simple. If you're someone who is aware of all the necessary, who is aware of all the functionalities, and you have worked on AWS projects and you have worked with the clients on the real-time requirement, because the questions that you would get, it's as close to as what we would work in day-to-day basis. So in day-to-day basis, so we will be requiring to build, like we'll be requiring to build something for our client, and our client would say that, okay, hey, how do you ensure that I'm getting the alerts if something happens? Now in order to implement those things, so there we might have already utilized the logs and we have already added multiple things over there. Those are the things that will be tested in our certification examination. It's not something new. Now, if you're very new to the AWS, then I would recommend you to think about and go through the documentation, go through some of the use cases, and from there you'll get the confidence and you can appear for the examination. This is about the overall examination tips and tricks, guys. And if you're someone, okay, I like, since it's a professional, I hope you already have the associate level examination or you have the certification. If you have it, you know already how you can extend your examination time. So you can, like, you can select it as you are, if you're not non-native English speaker, you can also get the examination time extended by 30 minutes.